In today's video, we go over why Jerami Grant is proof that you should always bet on yourself, no matter what. With a strong background in basketball, Jerami Grant was apparently born with a silver spoon in his mouth and all the opportunities lying in his way waiting to be grabbed by him. One of four sons of Harvey and Beverly Grant, Jerami was born on March 12, 1994. He's an American professional basketball player currently playing for the Detroit Pistons of the National Basketball Association. Harvey, his father, was a well-known player in his era with the 12th overall pick during the 1988 NBA draft, and he played for 11 years in the NBA with very popular teams like Washington, Portland, and Philadelphia. His uncle and Harvey's twin brother, former Magic legend Horace Grant, was also a professional basketball player at Clemson and played for the Chicago Bulls as well as the Los Angeles Lakers. And Horace has 4 NBA championships under his belt. 2 out of 3 of his brothers are also playing basketball at a professional level. You might be thinking, why am I discussing his family's achievements and accolades out of nowhere? You'll come across some of the harsh facts about his tiresome and competitive career, like everyone had to go through their own series of battles despite all the plus points and opportunities. Big goals demand big sacrifices and struggles to conquer hardships, fulfill dreams, and leave your mark. A player with excellent ability who's always tried to give 100% to meet his fans' expectations. He started running on this self-created path to break records and achieve what he has today from a very early age. Jerami Grant was a simple guy. Though American, he belongs to an African ethnicity from a very peaceful and simple town, where he and 3 of his brothers were raised, which added colors of delight to his life. He began his career with his high school team in 2011 and played 23 games and scored 12.5 points per game, and ESPN considered him a 4-star recruit, which was a big deal for a young, immature player who was trying to settle into the basketball world. In 2012, he was listed as a power forward and ranked the number 11 and number 37 player, which boosted his stamina and confidence. He started his college career during the 2013-2014 season and managed to average 12.1 points, 1.4 assists, and 6.8 rebounds in 31.4 minutes per game, with 49.6% shooting from the floor. With his hard work and consistent practice during his college season, he scored in double digits in 24 out of 32 games and scored 19 points 3 times, which helped his career excel and gave him opportunities to play in big honorable courts. He was an All-ACC honorable mention selection in 2014. With his defensive skills and timely shooting, he was one of the sought-after players that market had, and that allowed him to get into the NBA and start his professional career in June 2014 when he got selected by the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2014 NBA Draft with the 39th overall pick in Round 2. He joined the Philadelphia 76ers to play for their summer league. From this day on, his process era of revelations and learning started, and he signed a 4-year deal in September of 2014 with the tanking team, and became a part of a young and inexperienced group of players. He was a rising talent with great potential during his early days with the 76ers, and he stayed with the team for 3 seasons, playing a total of 144 games with an average of 6.3 points during 2014 and 2015, and 9.7 points per game during the 2015-16 season. He scored his career-first double-double during the 2015 season in a loss to the Toronto Raptors. With a 7'2" wingspan, he was an intriguing prospect, but an outside shot with just 35% from the field and 31% from the three-point line during his rookie season remained his only weakness and biggest obstacle to achieve big things. Grant continued to grow and develop in becoming a key rotational player after he was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in November of 2016 in exchange for Ersan Ilyasova. Right after his trade to the Thunder to protect a draft pick, he made his debut in an inspiring way, which raised the eyebrows of many fellow players and his fans sitting inside the court in an 85-83 win over the Los Angeles Clippers. He had 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 18 minutes. In that same year, he recorded his season-high 15 points in a game against the Atlanta Hawks in December of 2016, and history was repeated in 2017 in a loss to the Chicago Bulls when he again scored and tied his season-high 15 points. His career with the Thunder helped him improve his offense and his outside shooting, and he managed to grab the attention of many coaches and high-profile teams with his consistent growth. He re-signed with the Thunder in 2018 for the next season. He continued to score more and more points with each game, breaking his own season-high point records with 17 points off the bench against the Milwaukee Bucks and his career-high 25 points with 12 rebounds against the San Antonio Spurs. He had 27 points in a loss to the Miami Heat, and last but not least, he scored 28 points in a victory over the Bucks. Grant kept working hard to polish his skills and became a straight-caliber option for the Denver Nuggets in the previous season, but he was still trying to figure out a few things as a low-usage role player. He was challenging himself to be better with each passing day, as he was his own critic and analyst to catch his weak points and improve them. The Denver Nuggets opted him as a first-round pick for the 2020 draft, and he averaged 11.6 points and 3.3 rebounds in the playoffs, and his career-high 29 points in a win over the Detroit Pistons, plus his record-breaking scores in a win against the Clippers, surpassing Paul George's score in less than 9 minutes played, remained the highlights of the season. In big matches where he came against elite superstars of the basketball world like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, he worked hard and proved his excellence in the Western Conference Finals. He tried his best to defend superstars like LeBron and Kawhi Leonard on defense, while standing in one corner making the occasional cut in Denver's pass-happy egalitarian offense. He became a unique defender within no time due to his exceptional ability of switching onto every offensive player like Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Davis. However, with Michael Porter and Will Barton on the wings and a clear-cut pecking order with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic at the top, he was always going to be a second thought in the offense. In November of 2020, Grant got a notable breakthrough of his entire career when he signed a 3-year, $60 million contract with the Detroit Pistons through a sign and trade with the Nuggets. Though he was fresh out of a bubble performance that enabled him to showcase his shooting skills and let him attract many suitors, everyone in the league was surprised at his $60 million contract with the Pistons. It was not the first time, because the Nuggets also offered him the same amount in the previous season, but he took the Pistons deal because he saw a more heightened role in the offense, and he was craving for a team which had players like him in regards to leadership and position. It was a shocking announcement considering his scores as a title contender and during a conference finals run in the bubble. His selection by the Pistons made airwaves across the globe and raised serious questions of whether he'd be able to take his game to the next level and transform into a franchise cornerstone or not. Grant was sure about his skills and had the confidence to receive the reps to try and grow into a position to succeed. But he's done more than that because he accepted the challenge wholeheartedly and started improving his ball handling skills and made serious growth as a passer out of the pick and roll. He remained successful to maintain his efficiency despite being skyrocketed in his usage rate at the start. His shooting percentage remained 38.6 from beyond the arc in spite of launching about 7 threes a night. His former teammate and veteran Blake Griffin played a major role in propelling him towards improvement by teaching new skills slowly at an even larger scale. Grant being a former second-round pick and in his 7th year of his professional career, no one expected him to go this high with Detroit, as situations like these rarely happen. The general idea of Grant's improvement and growth is not unfamiliar in NBA history. There have been many players who are now elites of the basketball world who once believed that they were worthy of larger roles with big contracts and were destined to be a shining star in the NBA. In a long line of role models on championship contending teams who saw themselves with bigger roles like Grant, James Harden might be more notable than anyone else. James bet on himself in rejecting a 4-year, $50 million contract extension offer from the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a do-or-die-like situation, and taking risks like this is not child's play. But Harden, luckily, like Grant, eventually was traded to Houston and proved himself as a superstar, and he became an annual MVP candidate and offensive wizard. It's like a sink-or-swim type proportion, and the opposite has also happened in the NBA, when Trevor Ariza signed with the Houston Rockets back in 2009 after winning a championship for the Los Angeles Lakers. He was forced into a starting role player on the perimeter for the Rockets, and it turned into a disappointing decision, and he managed to shoot 39.4% in his lone season before being traded by the New Orleans Hornets. The same can be applied to Klay Thompson and Manu Ginobili, another two notable examples of players whose careers can be switched between what and if conditions just due to some of their challenging decisions in their career. Some basketball fans still wonder if Thompson wasn't playing beside Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, would he have been able to become a top 5 scorer despite the fact that he never averaged more than 22.3 points? And if Ginobili would have been the lead ball handler for any other team, could he have been able to make more than 2 All-Star teams? After his contract with the Pistons, Grant is in a complete rebuild state, which is a total different experience from his lone season with Denver. As far as other players are concerned, they learned that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But Grant figured out that sometimes moving to a better option with a blue jersey and a circular design can do wonders. Grant's growth from his days of process era to a mature, groomed, confident, and more skilled player is something that depicts clearly that he bet on himself to be a better player each day, and he somehow managed to do it. Check out the video that appears on your screen. We handpicked it just for you.